While Dwight, Bigfoot, and Tyson discover that Jeremiah's men are pursuing them, Mitch and Cleo are stopped by a highway patrol officer. Bigfoot knocks out the men who were hired to assassinate Dwight when he, Tyson, and Dwight pull into a petrol station. From a distance, Cole observes this and feels let down by his troops. The highway patrol officer who pulled Mitch and Cleo over freely acknowledges that Cole sent him to harass them. Thus, Mitch and Cleo defeat the officer and flee while he is preoccupied with inspecting the cargo the couple is transporting. When they get at Johnny Wednesday's house, he proves to be a man of few words. His men unload the liquor, he gives Mitch and Cleo the money, and he reassures them that their goods is in good hands. The only unit that hasn't encountered any problems thus far is the one that consists of Grace and Bodhi, and even that is annoying Grace because, according to Art's call on Bill's absence, there is trouble brewing somewhere. Bodhi informs Grace that although they are undoubtedly going through a difficult time, they must have faith in Dwight's idea since, should it be successful, the long-term advantages will be favorable. The two vehicles that will be used to deliver the illegal alcohol are being inspected by Grace, Mitch, Cleo, and Bodhi. After that, Mitch and Cleo go to Montague Distilleries to obtain the alcohol. In order to enter the storage container, they zap a few police officers who had been stationed there, rendering the distillery unusable. After securing the parcels, Mitch and Cleo take one of the vehicles and drive to Shreveport, while Bodhi and Grace take the other vehicle and go to St. Louis. It appears that Sackrider has not heard about this occurrence, and Dwight's car allows them to always know where he is. For Jeremiah, however, that is insufficient. In order to win his father's approval, he urges Cole to put Dwight to death and gives Sackrider the order to see that Montague Distilleries is permanently closed. As soon as Dwight stops on his way to Arkansas, Cole doesn't waste any more time assembling a group to pursue and murder him. One of Bill's goons, Art, calls Bodhi and asks whether he knows where Bill is. Naturally, Bodhi has no knowledge of this specific problem. Nevertheless, a brief sequence showing Bill in the federal jail that Musso allegedly runs establishes that he is the one who got Bill detained. We don't receive a convincing justification for Musso's extreme choice. I guess it's because Bill was on the verge of discovering that Dwight is employed by the federal government. He had his men follow Dwight in secret, and they nearly caught him when he met Deacon. Bill might have killed Dwight if he had become overly impulsive, which would have destroyed Musso's entire scheme to exact revenge on Deacon. I believe that's the reason Musso thought it was preferable to exclude Bill. It won't be difficult to defend Bill's arrest because he has a long history of often why Cole tries to kill Dwight. Bigfoot, Tyson, Vince, and a few of Ray's goons are seated around Dwight and Ray at their meeting at the conclusion of Tulsa King Season 3, Episode 6. Ray eventually brings up the subject of Dwight's reopened booze manufacturing company in Tulsa after circling the subject for a while, and he declares that he wants a piece of the action. Dwight asks Ray directly whether he will stop bothering him after he receives a portion of the earnings because there is no need for him to welcome him into this endeavor. Ray responds that he will. Dwight deduces from his succinct reply that Ray doesn't care about the alcohol, he views it as a lucrative venture. And he wants to stick his nose into it simply for that reason. Ray claims that he doesn't care about other people's opinions, so Dwight proves that Ray is bothering him by bringing up his business partners. Additionally, Dwight goes on the offensive and kind of ruins the discourse when Ray states that he wants 80% of the earnings. I simply want to talk about the 80% component before we go into it. Is Quiet Ray a joke? Since Ray didn't seem to be in his element, I felt that Tyson made a poor decision when he stated that. Which was why when Dwight told Tyson that he shouldn't judge a gangster by their looks because their actual strength is in their mind, I sort of sided with Dwight. However, I laughed aloud when I heard Ray mention 80% because there was no justification for making such a demand. It's really dumb. Returning to the conversation, Dwight does something equally foolish if Ray is stupid. He charges Ray of kidnapping Bill. Ray becomes enraged and snaps at Dwight because he has nothing to do with it. Cole and his goons arrive at Bubbles and start shooting at Dwight before Ray and Dwight can settle their differences. Cole and almost everyone else escape unharmed, but Ray somehow believes that Dwight authorized the hit on him. We see a brief scene between Mitch and Cleo as Dwight, Bigfoot, and Tyson return to Tulsa. They appear to be planning to put this whole situation behind them and continue traveling wherever their path leads. Yes, that makes logic. After all, why should they invest their youth in a venture that could land them in jail? When Goody learns of Armand's passing, it appears that he passed away through suicide. First of all, there isn't enough information about Armand to even make educated guesses. Secondly, this seems like a cheap way to wrap up Armand's storyline because it's possible that Max Casella, the actor who plays the character, didn't want to return for the third season. In addition to all of this, Dwight tries to get back in touch with Ray, but he doesn't answer his phone and instead gives the camera a sinister smile, as though he has Dwight under control. Has he, though? Dwight was the one hiding beneath the table with Ray. Is Ray really that stupid to believe that Dwight was behind the assassination attempt?